What's up guys, we are back with another video. Welcome back. Today we're obviously going to be going through the latest post for Jingliu that has actually come out on by the Hoyolab Honkai Star official site. Obviously I think they have, from what we're seeing, obviously we're going to be having, I think, previews of the Lightcone, which is really good because I am planning to definitely summon for this character. One of my accounts I've been saving up for. Obviously, I think I have 160 pulls, obviously saved up. I've not been pulling on anything, so I think I'm quite ready to basically get her done. But with that said, let's hop into the video. So as we look at the Lightcone, obviously her Lightcone signature is called "I shall be my own sword." The art looks ridiculously amazing. Obviously one of the characters that I've really wanted to play since obviously she debuted during the story quest. But let's obviously jump into what her Lightcone says. So it increases the wearer's crit damage by 20%. When an ally gets attacked or loses HP, the wearer gains 1 stack of Eclipse up to a max of 3 stacks, and each stack of Eclipse increases the damage of the wearer's next attack by 14%. When 3 stacks are reached, additionally enable the attack to ignore 12% of the enemy's defense. This effect will be removed after the wearer uses an attack. So basically we get what's 12 by 3, that's about 12, that's the 42% increase in damage. And then on the third one, the third stack basically gives that 42%. It basically enables you to ignore 12% of the enemy's defense. So if you have like a freeze team and you have like Pella, and then obviously Pella reduces enemy defense by 50%, that's quite a lot, you know. That's actually quite a lot. But obviously essential materials are immortal Sishanets, or however you pronounce it, and shattered blade. Obviously it's not that really hard to get. I think it's quite important for us to basically just make sure that we get everything. So I think obviously these are the, what do you call it, these are the Lightcones that are going to be in the banner for the weapons. So obviously memories of the past, make the world clamor, and then obviously eyes of prey. So I think then it's not that good. Like, I wouldn't say these are my go-to Lightcones, like, because I've never built Serval. I've only built Sampo on the account where I have Kafka, and that's pretty much it, because I am not a pay-to-win, nor do I spend any money on this game. So most of the time I do create accounts just to be able to get like characters and play with them and sort of see whether that account is really worth investing. And one of the accounts that I really want her on is the one where my Bronya has her Lightcone in an E1, and that was mostly done just because I managed to basically summon on the Lightcone on the standard banner for everything. So as we move on, let's see what the next bit of it is, because I think this is quite really, it's really amazing how they've actually built up this character. I wouldn't say she's like damn great amazing. I mean, you know, Dan Heng in Bibita Lune came out and he changed the game in terms of damage, so we don't have numbers for this, but I think we'll see where we are. So obviously so this is her character preview. So obviously she looks good, that's her art, bloody amazing. I've already surpassed my limits. Jesus, she's so sexy. But obviously her story, so obviously a former champion of the Lo Fu. Let's see the personal matters about I've already surpassed, may soon succumb to the influence of the Mara, but given the choice between staring into the abyss with a troubled mind and marching forward blindfold, I choose the latter. So obviously that's just her general sense. So character overview, she's a DPS character. Her traces, which is obviously what gives her that extra kind of boost as a character. So the first one is, while the spectral transmigration state is in effect, her effect resistance increases, which is not that bad. I mean, that just basically puts her in a position where she doesn't get debuffed, but we'll have to see the numbers when the character comes out. So after using transcending flash, the next action will be advance forward. We don't know how much advance forward this is. I think it's a whole advance forward. Like the moment she activates her transcendent flash or transmigration state, she immediately hits again. And then obviously the last one is, while in the spectral transmigration state, ultimate damage increases. So I think you can launch your ultimate when she's not in the transmigration state, but if she's in the transmigration state, which is that move where she kind of like does the spin on the sword and then that thing. So I think that's when you're able to sort of have an increase in damage. So most of this we can actually get before she comes out, so you can definitely get this by farming one of the boss materials. And then obviously I think everything here is very like I think all this you can simply farm before she comes out. I think just nobody knew what to farm in terms of this, but most people had prepared a lot of this and destruction. So I've been farming a lot of this, so I think that's actually quite okay. So obviously, as we look at a technique, that's obviously when she's basically sort of before she attacks a character, or when you have your enhance. So her enhance is basically like a zone where she freezes people, I'm guessing, like that. And then when you attack her, creates a dimension around Jingliu that lasts for duration that inflicts freeze on all enemies. In this dimension, after entering combat with enemies in the dimension, Jingliu immediately regenerates energy and obtains a number of syzygy stacks with a chance of freezing enemies targets for a number of turns, while frozen enemy targets cannot take action and receive additional ice damage at the start of every turn. Only one dimension created by a team can exist at the time. So I think it's not that bad. It's just basically like it's like starting the game with a buffed March 7th. If you've played March 7th and you use her skill or her enhance or whatever, she basically freezes an opponent at the start of the turn. Obviously this lasts for I think one turn, so it's not that bad. So a basic attack, obviously just deal one single damage to a single target. That's not too bad. Her enhanced skill, I think so. Now this is when she is in her transmigration state. So from what it says is that deals ice damage to a single enemy target and a proportional amount of ice damage to adjacent targets, and then consume a number of stacks of syzygy. This ability does not consume skill points. So obviously she's just like Blade in a sense, where obviously she takes HP from every single person instead of herself to then increase the amount of damage that she's able to give. Let's see your talent. So this is the transmigration state that we were talking about earlier. So from what I understand is that you have syzygy stacks, which is basically like, you know how Dan Heng has those small yellow things in his bar that build up when you launch your ult. So in this case is that you launch your skill and it gives you syzygy stacks, and you launch your ult and it also gives you syzygy stacks, and that's what gives you this form here. So when Jingliu has a number of syzygy stacks, which I'm guessing is 3, she enters the spectral transmigration state with her action advanced, so it basically puts you back up into attack again, and her crit rate increased. Obviously I don't think we have a number specifically for it, but then Jingliu's skill Transcendent Flash is enhanced to Moon on Glacial River, and only this enhanced skill is available for use in battle. When Jingliu uses an attack in the spectral transmigration state, she consumes HP for all her allies equal to a percentage. So basically, in short, if you want to just know what this does, is that you attack with your skill or ultimate and you get syzygy stacks. When you get 3 in total, you go into this state. This state then gives you access to make this attacks, which are the only attacks you can make. You can't do any basic attacks, you can only do this attacks. Each of these attacks depletes your, I think it's now the stacks, the syzygy stacks, which then basically I think brings you back to her normal state. So obviously, yes. So when you use your skill is when you gain a number of syzygy stacks, which is not too bad. For ultimate, obviously I think everyone has known this ultimate since the leak came out, but obviously she deals ice damage to a single enemy, and then proportional amount of ice damage to an adjacent enemy. Gains a number of stacks to the syzygy stacks after the attack ends, so it's not that bad. So overall I think she's quite good. She's an amazing character. I'd say only summon for her if you've not used, or rather if you don't have an account where you have a major sort of ice damage dealer. If you do have a damage dealer or an ice damage dealer specifically, I don't think you need to roll for her. She just adds that value as a DPS character. One of the things that I have on one of my accounts, Ngase Gaming 2, is the fact that I have all supports sort of Bronya, Tingyung, Yukong, obviously Asta, and all of them are sort of like built up very well, but those are all supports, they're all Harmony characters, and I have no DPS on that account. Like, in fact, the only DPS that I have is probably Dan Heng, and the reason why I think Dan Heng is really good is because, you know, it's Dan Heng in Bibita Luna, and in Bibita Luna came out and changed the whole aspect of the game. So I am going to be summoning for her on that account because she's going to add value in terms of DPS on that account, which is really good. I have another account that has Blade and Fushuan and Lynx, and I wouldn't lose the 50-50 if I summon on that account, but I don't think I really want to put her on that account because I don't know, I feel like I'm in a state where like this account has like a fully built up Bronya, a fully built up Tingyang and everyone, and I sort of just want her on that on my support account. So yeah, if you're planning to save for her or roll for her, do it. I'm gonna be streaming and I'm gonna be playing this game. Obviously when it comes out on PS5 on the 11th. I've been playing it on my phone, but obviously recording is sort of a bummer. But with that said, hit that like and subscribe if you like the video, if you like more information about this character, and I will see you in the next one.